Hi, I'm going under the name of Skipper for this channel. This is an Actualizing with Skipper video. I am titling this video something like Enlightenment, or like my journey through a breakup, or something similar to that. This whole video was possible with ChatGPT. ChatGPT has helped me quite a bit, and I just wanted to make that clear. I have not done this completely on my own, and I've also had a lot of help from Grammarly, so I just wanted to make that clear. So I'm going to get right into it. Introduction. Have you ever felt lost and broken after a breakup? I did, and it led me to a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. So here's my story. So again, this whole video is about value to give to my followers or viewers. Just listen and hopefully you get something valuable out of this video. So, early struggles. When I was 18, I was in a pseudo-romantic relationship with a girl who studied at the University of Idaho, and the relationship ended when she broke up with me, saying she had found someone else who she liked more. The rejection hit me hard, plunging me into emotional instability and even suicidal thoughts. My anxiety was so severe that I couldn't focus or sleep for a day. At this stage, I was also struggling to find time to make self-care and time for myself. So I found this particular source. It's called https://stevepavlina.com. So you go to that, you can find this source. I did not create this, somebody else did. However, I found it to be extremely helpful to kind of describe my journey. So if you look here, you have enlightenment. You got little me right here, that's me. Sorry, right there. And you have enlightenment, which is the journey up here, but it never ends. Sign right there. You can see it. Well, it's a horrible infinity sign, but it's supposed to be one right there. It goes on forever. So this is me, this is stagnant where I started. And I was in the shame category. So I was ashamed, right, of being rejected. I was ashamed of being rejected. And as you can see, there are a lot of other stages that a person goes through. So if you take anything from this, it's that enlightenment is the highest stage of consciousness that you can achieve, essentially. There's different stages of enlightenment though, but generally speaking, among the ancient philosophers like Plato and Aristotle and Socrates, they all believed in enlightenment, I think, in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they didn't agree with the way a person goes through enlightenment in metaphysical terms, like, is this reality that I'm in right now, is it real? Like, is there an alternate reality? That's what Plato would hypothesize, and he actually claimed, I think he was on the side that there are alternate realities. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is This is a very, very important topic for personal development, and this is what this channel is about. Enlightenment is the hardest journey that I've ever gone on in my entire life. But it's also the most rewarding journey. Most people don't reach enlightenment. They don't know what it's like to be a very, very strong person. And this is kind of the blueprint of how I've become strong. And so I hope that I can connect with you. So, to go on to the next stage of the video, finding a way to cope. I turned to my mom for support, and she suggested that I try meditation. I watched a video by Leo Gura from actualize.org, and to make this clear, I do not agree with everything he says. I, in fact, disagree with a lot of what he says about a lot of different topics, but I find some of his videos to be extremely helpful. So, to continue, I was watching one of his videos on meditation and getting over a breakup, not at the same time, but two different sittings. Although he didn't directly say enlightenment was the way to heal, he empathized that rejection can be beneficial and transformative. Inspired, I started meditating regularly. I noticed that there were other issues influencing my anxiety. My memory issues, that's one thing. Further, my mom told me that there would be another person who would like me, and that my feelings of pain and suffering and rejection would heal with time. When I was first suggested to do meditation by my mom, I thought it was weird. However, I was interested in trying it when I heard it from Leo, same guy I just mentioned above. I have learned that family members can tell one truth, but that does not mean that the son, daughter, or other will believe or trust the idea to try it. Also, at this point in my life, I was also impressionable and open because I experienced deep rejection. So, it puts somebody into a very strong state of openness and desperation to anything that can help them. So, my self-realization or self-realization. Meditation helped me see that I was too hard on myself. My pain stemmed from undervaluing myself. This realization, along with the meditative practice, began to soothe my anxiety. Over time, I changed my self-image, recognizing my worth and potential for growth. This breakup, painful as it was, became a catalyst for my personal development. After I changed my self-image, I could see that my motivation became clearer as to why I was doing the personal development work. For instance, I realized I fundamentally wanted to deeply be a good person with respect for my community. The strong desire and hate towards falsehood, biases, and lower selfish desires influenced me to feel disgusted about some of the ideas people live by. For instance, I had strong feelings of resentment toward people desiring to control another, acting only in their self-interest, and people being shallow and weak. And I put in in parentheses, men dating women primarily for their beauty, and women dating men primarily for their money and height. Those things bothered me, particularly because it was just an idea that I understood and heard about. So, mindfulness meditation. For 6 months, I practiced mindfulness meditation daily. While it significantly reduced my anxiety, I still faced challenges like test anxiety and fear of public speaking. These anxieties were rooted in self-doubt and past rejections. Through meditation and honest reflection, I began to accept myself and work on improving my character, already good in many ways, and competence. Furthermore, the meditation also showed me that my headspace was mostly focused on my past achievements, childhood memories, and life experiences. When I let my mind be present, I could find peace of mind, which helped me achieve a level of enlightenment. A new direction. At 19, I started writing a blog, realizing I wanted to help others through writing, YouTube, and personal interactions. I experienced moments of enlightenment that are hard to describe, but profoundly transformative. My first such experience came when I decided to become a counseling psychologist, feeling a deep passion for helping people. Now keep in mind, at this time of my life, I wasn't as aware of... I'm a little bit of a different person than I was when I was 19. So I could see myself being a counseling psychologist. I could see myself being a clinical psychologist or something, in the realm of helping people through people's skills, So it's not just bound only counseling psychologists. Just wanted to make that clear. And I think I kind of knew that back then, but I had to pick a particular thing, a purpose, career that I wanted to do, and I thought that was the most compatible one. Realizing my potential. Around the age of 20, I grappled with the desire to be remembered as a great person. So let's go back to this. I think it's appropriate. I think I moved to guilt. I felt a little guilty after the breakup, but then, I was over it. So I moved out of shame. And I kind of went up to maybe grief. It was still kind of sad some days. That's probably goes into, mindfulness meditation section of the video, and then a new direction. And then you got, now I'm in the new direction, I'm at fear, right? Because I'm afraid that I picked the wrong career. I just took this life purpose course or whatever. And, I'm thinking to myself, is this correct? Is this the right type of career? And so I guess I moved out of my stage of fear on and off and back into desire at the age of 20, I would say. So I grappled with the desire to be remembered as a great person. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I struggled with believing that I wanted to be a person who was truly great. Not just locally as a good guy, but on a world-renowned level. And I talked about this constantly with my mom, with my dad, with my closest friends, which weren't very many. So, I took it seriously. Like, I realized that that's extremely rare. And I just want to communicate to everyone who's listening, that you don't have to be the best person in the world to decide that you want to really, really make a huge difference on the world in the grand scheme of your life. You could be a person who's handicapped and to fulfill that purpose. I think people have a lot of limiting beliefs around how much change they can make in the world. And really it just comes down to a lot of it comes down to your desire and your cognitive ability a bit, but I mean that can change with time. Your cognitive ability can become improved with proper diet and everything. I'll get into that later in this video, but I want people to feel like they can relate, and I am generally speaking, I'm more human than not, and so I had fears. And I'm not saying I'm a figure in history or anything right now, but I am saying that I've made the conscious effort to decide to live in a way such that facilitates as a high possibility in the grand scheme of my life. So aim for the stars. You might hit the moon. You might go past the stars, depending on the technology and the dedication. I'm saying. So to go back to my script, my confidence issues were linked to my lack of self-knowledge, my ability to figure out my memory issues, and my experiences of rejection. Facing and overcoming these challenges, I found that hardships can indeed make one stronger. For instance, I would have trouble remembering where I would lose my keys to my car, wallet, or phone. I would have issues forgetting things every week, and it felt as though I was unable to keep my life together with low anxiety. About 4 years later, I found that when I ate healthy, slept well, and took proper vitamins and minerals, and my memory issues were improved, and my anxiety lowered. Part of enlightenment is becoming a competent person with authentic confidence and improving memory issues that help me become enlightened. Enlightened romantic relationship. So recently, like less than a month ago, I experienced another breakup, but this time I handled it differently. I imagined the separation and processed my emotions beforehand, which made the actual breakup much less painful. I was over the breakup in about 3 hours. This approach, born out of my enlightenment, allowed me to appreciate the relationship without needing validation. I was reminded that true love involves mutual respect and understanding, and sometimes separation is necessary for personal growth. My ability to move forward and search for a woman who fits my values better and take many learning experiences with me has become exceptional. So to be clear, people might think that I'm somehow not human because I got over a breakup in 3 hours. I just want to make this clear. It took me probably 3 months, 4 months to get over my breakup to the point where I am like now, when I was 18. And it took me 3 hours or so to get over the breakup like I am now with the most recent one. So if you put in the work and you do real growth, you won't experience emotional spikes where your life just goes into this emotional roller coaster and then you can't keep your life together. You can truly manage that. Because I was a very emotional person when I was 18, to the point where people would say you have emotional issues, like you need to see a therapist, and it can harm your relationship dynamics too. And I guess it kind of did, sort of, for me. But the point I'm trying to make is you can become a strong person from a person who's not really that strong, yeah. Enlightenment in the workforce. So I also faced a job loss recently but felt little grief. My enlightenment journey taught me to distinguish between what is my fault and what is not. And I mean that in a very individualistic mindset, not a collectivist mindset. So what I mean is, I'm individually responsible if I go outside and I steal somebody's car, which I've never done before in my entire life, but this is just an example. If I get caught by the police and it's grand theft, that is directly my fault, right? I'm responsible for that. Whereas if somebody else were to steal my car, I'm not directly responsible for my car being stolen, right? That's what I mean. So, I lost my job due to my honest communication, not incompetence. These experiences reinforce my belief that living truthfully, even when it leads to hardships, is crucial for enlightenment. So imagination is powerful for enlightenment. I have done exercises that have scared me to death to see what type of person I am. Imagining myself in a situation where I could die or save another person's life influences me to experience trauma. But it also has led me to exceptional growth. For instance, I've imagined what I would do if I were trying to save a Jewish person's life in the country of Israel. So going back to enlightenment in the workforce, I found that when I was in that kind of stage in my life, like my most recent job, working my most recent job, I reached what I would call enlightenment, and then I was oscillating right between these stages, which you have neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and then up to enlightenment. So I was kind of in this area oscillating. Same in my personal romantic enlightened relationship. And so I just wanted to make that clear that I had to go through slaying dragons, typically regarding myself. Like, there were dragons that were inside of me that I was trying to slay, metaphorically speaking. And then also kings that were inside of me who were tyrants. I had to slay those. That's all, pretty much. But, this journey is always evolving, and I will forever be learning to become more enlightened. Conclusion. Through meditation, self-reflection, and facing life's challenges head-on, I have found a path to enlightenment. My journey has taught me the importance of self-worth, the transformative power of rejection, and necessity of living authentically. This enlightenment has profoundly shaped my relationships, career, and overall outlook on life. Call to action. I'm a mental health professional currently looking for work. My general advice to become enlightened is to do what is emotionally difficult, but truly in your best interest to become your best version. For instance, if you are afraid to ask a woman on a date or become friends and then see if it can become a serious romantic relationship, do it. If you are in a romantic relationship with a girl or woman and she is being consciously disrespectful to you often, then end the relationship. If you are afraid to speak up about an issue at work because you might get fired, then maybe you should take the risk. I ask myself if it is worth speaking up for myself. One way I can tell if it is worth the risk is if it benefits the grand scheme of my life, the community, and the world. If I am making a big deal out of nothing, like if I'm frustrated that my supervisor won't meet with me the day I ask them, asking if my supervisor will trust every word I say, stuff like that, that's not really rational. Cultures and humans in general vary in terms of what is seen as appropriate and what is not. When you ask your supervisor, I think many people are looking at cultural human differences, thus influencing them to divide themselves from others. I typically see the similarities between cultures and humans, therefore leading me to see general truths about what is irrational and what is not. If you do something against your values, that is the primary indicator that is essential to address it at work. But if it is a difference in tradition or culture, like your supervisor prays to a god and you don't, that could be a difference in cultural norms rather than values, thus resulting in it not needing to be talked about. I think the most significant issue people have is thinking that their best interests are unaligned with truth and being good people. If a person sees a difference between the two, I think they have a mindset that can influence a person to be literally insane. And what do I mean? If you think falsehood beats truth in life, you cannot be farther from the truth nowadays. See my video, Is Truth a Virtue? And I explain how you need to surrender to truth to be your greatest version. And that's the end of my video. I hope it was compelling. Please subscribe. Please comment in the comment section. And feel free to share this video with a friend. And I will link at the end of this video, there'll be a little pop-up saying, Is Truth a Virtue? You can check out my other video if you haven't already seen it. Thank you for watching through it. If you have, also, I appreciate the commenting on my blog as well, whether that be on my Facebook page or on my internet blog. Either way, I appreciate it. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.